YouTube, what is going on? It is your man, Tyler James. I am back again with another video today, and in this one, I want to talk to you guys about my experience on 30 plus days of semen retention. And there's a lot of controversy and debate around semen retention, whether it's even healthy in the first place, whether you should do it, if it's just placebo. And simply in this video, I want to give you guys my experience. I want to just give you my quick experience of 30 plus days going on semen retention. And will you gain superpowers? Will you start to levitate? Will you start to float? No, you will not. It would be cool if you did, but no, you don't. But there are a lot of physical benefits, which I will talk about. But before we get into that, the reason for you guys to want to do this and why I recommend you guys do this is because of a deeper meaning and a deeper purpose behind it. We can talk about the physical benefits all day. We can talk about the attraction from women all day, but your mind will change. Your brain will literally change. Your perception of life will change. Your perspective of life will change through this practice. And that can be a scary thing for a lot of you guys. And it was a scary thing for me too, but it's for the best, right? Sometimes the hardest things are for the best. And I'm not going to delve too much into that right now, but beyond just the physical benefits, your mind will literally change from doing this practice. And you'll find a deeper purpose. You'll find a deeper meaning. You will understand that, lusting after women is not the end all be all and that there's way more to life. But really quick, before we talk about that, there is a great amount of physical benefits that you guys will get from being on this practice. And this isn't the most important thing, right? But you will see a greater attraction from women. You will have clearer skin. You'll put on muscle faster. You'll lose fat. Better workouts, higher testosterone, better sleep, more energy throughout the day, higher libido. Literally anything you can think of in the physical realm will be improved through doing this practice. And the reason why it'll be improved is because your semen, your seed has life. It has the ability to literally create life, right? And so when you have that power and you withhold it, when you keep it in, you are allowing that life energy to flow back within inside of you, right? You are aligning to the universe. You are aligning to the world. And I know a lot of this spiritual talk might not land with every single one of my viewers, but if you've never tried it, then how would you know, right? So outside of just, the spiritual part of life flowing within you, your semen has a lot of vitamins, a lot of nutrients, a lot of things that keep your body functioning. And when you keep that energy and when you keep that seed inside of you, again, those type of things start to flow within your body more, right? So that is kind of the reason why you'll see more physical benefits, is because you are literally radiating and you're circulating more life force inside of your body. That is why you'll have clearer skin. That is why you'll have bigger eyes. That is why you'll have thicker hair, thicker beard. Everything in the physical realm will improve. Deeper voice. Everything in the physical realm will improve from being on this practice. Attraction from women. We're going to talk about women later in the video, but everything physically that you would want to improve or to get better will improve from just doing this practice alone, right? I can go and get 5 or 6 hours of sleep and wake up the next day and still have a lot of energy, still have energy throughout the entire day. It's because I have this extra juice. I have this extra push. I have an extra life force behind me that allows me to go the extra mile, to do the extra thing, whatever that may be, right? And that is why it is so important for you to do this, because otherwise you are just wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your energy. And when you're wasting your energy, when you're giving it out and not withholding it, you're missing out on the person that you truly could be, because you're missing out on so much more energy, higher mood, more libido. Literally everything in the physical realm, I'm telling you guys, will get better from semen retention. It will get better. And I'm not even a person, you can look at my videos. This is the first video I've ever made on this topic. I'm not a person who is like diehard semen retention, like, weirdo like that. But I am somebody who has consistently throughout my life have had sex with women, relationships with women, have watched pornography, have masturbated. And I just know from being on this practice and doing this thing, life is so much better in the physical realm. So that is the first thing that you'll notice. Physically, everything will improve. Your mood will be better. Your sleep will be better. Your workouts will be better. You'll have higher libido. Your skin will be clearer. You'll have bigger eyes. Everything in the physical realm will be improved through going through semen retention. So we talked about the physical realm and all the benefits that will come with that. And, that is an amazing thing. But what is really more important is you being able to control your mind. And that is what you will get from semen retention. The ability to control your mind, the ability to control your dopamine. And what I mean by this is that if you think of a crack fiend or a dope fiend, what they're addicted to is not necessarily the drug. They're not addicted to cocaine. They're just addicted to the high that cocaine brings them, right? Their brain is craving that high. Their brain really wants that high. And when you're watching pornography, when you're masturbating, your brain, your mind is craving that high. You are really no different from the dope fiend, except maybe they just, went off the ledge or whatever. But your brain just wants to experience that high. And when you're withholding that high and when your dopamine levels are dropping down to baseline to where they should be, what you're doing is you are literally controlling your mind. You're changing your brain. You're changing the makeup of your brain through semen retention. And, I'm not a guy, again, who is just a guru semen retention type of person. But I have noticed through being on this practice, I am able to control my mind a lot more. And what I mean by this is that I am way more present. A lot of people, they have this voice in their head that never shuts up. They have a voice in their head that is always constantly going. And, through doing this practice, I have become a lot better at finding the space between myself and this voice in my head. Through meditation, through reading, through getting outside, through being connected with nature, I have found that I am able to control my mind. And I'm able to focus my mind on the task at hand, focus my mind on doing action, focus my mind on whatever it is that I need to get done in the present moment, right? And not only that is I've noticed that my reactions to little things, to transient things, is very minimal. I don't really react anymore. Now I am more in tune with nature, more in tune with the universe, more in tune with everything that is going on. And instead of, going off the rails or overreacting to a little thing, I just tell myself that, this was supposed to happen. I need to learn something from this. I need to gain control of this. Whatever that happened was supposed to happen, and then I just adjust. I just move on from there, right? That is the biggest thing through this practice, is that I've been able to control my mind, be more present, be more one with nature, be one with the universe. And it's super important to do that because so many people, you look around in our society today and people are just looking at their phones, they're distracted, they're there physically, but they're not there mentally, right? And it's not even about having a leg up on your competition or, being better than the other person. What it's about is you. What it's about is your journey and your self-development. And when you can control your mind and control your dopamine, that is the greatest stepping stone in your development as a person, right? Because everything starts with the mind. As man thinketh, so is he, right? Whatever you think about is what you're ultimately going to become. And if all you're thinking about is pornography, jerking off, masturbating, you're just going to be a weirdo. You're just going to be a creep, right? And whatever happens in the dark comes out to light. And when you can control your mind, when you can control your dopamine, you are changing yourself. You are developing at a greater rate. You can do all these things physically and mentally and spiritually, but if you're not holding onto your seat, if you're still masturbating, watching porn, you're not going to be as personally developed as somebody who isn't, right? And I know I talked about, this being really a mental thing, and it truly is. Like, through this practice and through my experience, my mind has literally changed. I pay less attention to things that don't matter. I don't care about things as much. And I'm not even saying that in a bad way. How I'm saying that is that there's a deeper peace and a deeper meaning and purpose into everything that I'm doing, right? I don't want to say I've like found myself or whatever, but I have been able to unlock a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose, and a deeper sense of self through this practice, because I'm figuring out that certain things don't matter. Certain things I don't need to react to. You know, the only thing that can hold me back in life is me and my mind. And that is just the greatest benefit of this practice, is that you will find a deeper sense of meaning, a deeper sense of purpose, and a more fulfillment in your life. Because previously you might have only been thinking about, you know, girls and lust and women need to fill this hole that I have. But when you're on semen retention and you're changing your mind and you're becoming more present, what you're doing is you're becoming one with the world. You're becoming one with the universe. You're becoming one with God. And God and the world and the universe starts to fill in that hole, starts to fill in that void. And that has been like one of the biggest changes and biggest things for me, is finding a deeper sense of meaning and a deeper sense of purpose. Now me coming on here and talking to you guys is truly fulfilling for me in my life. You know, you might have sex with a girl and then after you'll be drained. You won't have the energy if that woman is not the one for you, right? And I think that is just the biggest thing through this practice, is having a deeper sense of purpose, having a deeper sense of meaning, understanding that certain things just don't matter, like sports, like anything that is not really improving your life or making you better or bringing you closer to God or making you more present. It really shouldn't matter. And there's so many little things that people get bogged down on and dwell about, but you have to understand that every single thing in life is a little thing. Everything is transient. This too will pass. And when you have that understanding and you have that deeper sense of meaning and purpose, and I know I'm getting a little off track here, then you can control your mind. You can find who you truly are and be connected with God, be connected with nature. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about when going through semen retention and going through this process is women. Now, when you're addicted to pornography and masturbating and that's all you think or care about, you are wanting to get women to fulfill a void, to fulfill a hole that you have in your life. And you are wanting them to fulfill your deepest desires, fulfill your deepest, darkest desires, whatever those are. That is why you are doing that, is because there's a void, there's a hole. And instead of finding this fulfillment through purpose, through working out, through whatever it is, you are looking for women to fulfill it. Now, when you are going through the world and navigating the world today, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter who you speak to, women are going to be a part of your life. Women are always going to be there. They're not going to go anywhere. Unless you're a monk in the middle of nowhere, you're going to have to talk to women. You're going to have to be around women, and you're going to have to navigate the world with women. And watching porn, masturbating is not helping you do that, right? And what semen retention will help you do, and I talked about this a little bit ago, is that it'll help you find that deeper sense of meaning, that deeper sense of purpose, that deeper sense of who you are, that deeper sense of self. That thing, that hole that you have that you need fulfillment from, semen retention and finding that purpose, finding that deeper sense of self will help you fulfill that. Instead of trying to use women and use sex and use lust to fulfill that, and drugs or whatever else, you have a deeper sense of purpose. You have a deeper sense of self, right? Semen retention changes your mind, changes your brain, changes who you are as a person. And when you have that change, you now have a deeper sense of fulfillment. You are no longer looking for external things to fulfill you. And that is what you're doing when you're watching porn, when you're jerking off, when you're masturbating, is you are looking for an external thing to come help and fulfill you. Okay? So, when it comes to women, the biggest thing I noticed with my experience was that I no longer see women as just objects. I no longer see them as an object to fulfill my desire. I no longer see them as for a way to get my nut off, right? Now I see them as human beings, people to converse with, people to talk with, mothers, daughters, coworkers, friends, whatever it is, right? I see them as people. I see them as people that I need to navigate life with. And when you're on semen retention and you're on this practice, you start to dissipate the fact that, women are just sex objects, right? Because when you're watching porn, when you're jerking off, when you're masturbating, that is what you're telling your brain. So that is the biggest thing I notice, is that treating women like human beings, the attraction is going to be there. When you're holding your seed, when you're holding your nut, the attraction is just going to be automatic. Like, there's so many women I walk by or who I'm around who are just, looking at me, staring at me, and the attraction is just automatic. But from this practice, you will have a greater amount of discernment. Discernment meaning you pick and choose who is good for you, and you are no longer chasing, right? If a woman doesn't text you back, you don't double or triple text her, you just let it go. If you have an intuition that this woman is no good for you and that is going to waste your time and your money and your resources, then you let her go, right? You have a greater amount of discernment and a greater amount of sense of self to not go out and chase, to not and go out and try to fuck every single living, moving, breathing thing. What you are doing is you are wanting to find something that is going to add some value, to bring some value to your life. Because that is what semen retention really does. It changes your mind and it starts to get you to think of how you can improve your life, how you can get better. And if you're just using women in a dark sense to fulfill a desire and you're not finding a good woman, you're not finding the person that you want to actually be around and who can bring you some value and who can support you and help you on your journey, then go on semen retention. It's that simple. So that's the biggest thing with women, is really just, not seeing them just as objects anymore, but seeing them as human beings, and then also having a greater amount of discernment to know when a woman is good for you versus bad for you. And you're not just thinking in lust, you're not just thinking with your dick anymore. Okay? It's that simple. You're going to get the attraction from women, but now you have to be discerning about who you're allowing to bring into your life and making sure they provide you with some value, because you already have that deeper sense of meaning, that deeper sense of self, that deeper fulfillment through finding your purpose, through finding your mission. Last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is just to try it out for yourself. Just to try it out, see what happens, see what, kind of things you experience, see how your mind changes. And if a lot of you guys have been addicted to pornography, masturbating, whatever it is, then you really should try it, because you will experience greater benefits. You will experience, greater mind changes. Whatever I was talking about earlier, you will experience it on a greater level than I have, because I've done this before. And I really highly recommend you guys to just try it out for yourself. And if you feel like you can't, if you feel like you have no self-control, then that is something you need to work on. Because ultimately that can be your downfall at the end of the day. At the end of the day, is not having the self-control. A woman could be your downfall because you didn't have the self-control and the wherewithal to see that that woman was no good for you and you were only thinking with your dick. So I want to leave this with you guys, is to just try it. See what happens. There's no benefit from continuing to watch porn, masturbate, and jerk off. There's no continuing benefits of that. You will get, at the very minimum, you will get more time, more energy, more resources, and you will be less lustful. Okay? So, just wanted to leave you guys with that. And if you are super, super, super duperly struggling, feel free to click the link in my description, book a call with me, and we could talk about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.